Today I'm making a quick video of all of the questions you guys sent me on Instagram. I made a story, said guys send me questions, we'll put that on YouTube and I'll answer all of them. So I'm not going to be able to answer all of them because I have like literally hundreds of questions. So I'm just going to go by the list and then I'll make a part 2. Now, I'm not going to lie, the first question I received made me laugh so hard because it says, "My husband caught me cheating. I denied it, but now he's constantly questioning everything I do. How can I make him stop questioning me?" Now, I'm not here saying that I support cheating, but you asked me the question, so I'm just gonna answer you. One thing you can do, honestly, I think this is like the easiest way, and actually I have a friend who did this and got away with it. If you use iMessage, you can like text yourself pretending to be a guy from like your gym or a person that works in the same building as you. Make sure that you change the name into a guy's name. Okay, and then make him think that some other man is trying to get with you, but you're responding back by saying you're married and you're happy with your partner. So how you can do it is basically, if you have an iPhone, that's how you'll have iMessage. You changed like the number that messages you, have that contact saved as like, I don't know, Daniel, okay? And then while you're like messaging back and forth with it, basically like have the phone kind of left by him opened. Maybe have the guy like have the fake number that's you actually message you, and then it's like he sees like, oh, Daniel, and maybe he'll like start, you know, wanting to go through your phone and seeing who this Daniel is. Since if your man already thinks you're cheating, he's gonna probably go through your phone and try to find more evidence. So that's a perfect way to do it. He's gonna be like, oh look, okay, maybe I'm actually exaggerating because here's proof that some guy's trying to flirt with her, but she's telling him that she's married. This is terrible, but you know, I'm just here to answer your questions. And another thing I should add is to make sure that you actually have a good reason on why this guy Daniel has your number in the first place. And if your husband actually loves you enough, he'll lie to himself. The next question says, he ghosted me for a month and then came back. Is he testing me? Look, if he ghosted you and then tries to come back, there was another girl in the picture. Like, men will keep you around even if there is a girl in the picture, but they're gonna try to see what they can get out of you if you're hot enough. You get what I mean? So they're gonna keep you around, but maybe they like started getting a little more serious with another girl, or maybe they already have better girls. Like, the women that they have in their life are better than you, so it's easier to let you go. But basically what this means is whoever they ghosted you with, they got bored of them. You know, reality is, and every woman knows this, is that men are afraid to lose women that they know have other men wanting them, because they just want what other men want. You know, it's same thing with women. Women want what other women want. I don't know, like it's very simple. So like, don't overthink it. If a guy ghosts you, I don't even care. Even if a guy ghosts me for like 2-3 days, even a day, like I just don't bother. I truly am telling you, I deal with men who are very, very busy and they don't ghost me even for a day. And if they do plan to not talk to me, they always tell me beforehand, like, listen, I got this thing, we're not going to be able to talk today, or like they always tell me. And it's so obvious, like when a guy really, really likes you, they always tell you beforehand that they're just not going to be able to talk to you for a long time because maybe they got something going on with work or family, who cares, but you get what I mean. It's very obvious when a man thinks they have other options, because those men will never ask you like, oh, we need to have a break, or oh, I think I'm gonna leave you, or they start ghosting you. Like, they know that any second they can lose you. So don't ever think that a guy who's doing these things is playing games with you, or is, you know, just needs some space or whatever. Like, any guy who does this thinks that he can't lose you. Even men who know games and they know manipulation aren't going to try this on women that they know can literally walk out on them on any second. So yeah, you should be offended on the fact that he came back after a month. The next question says, if men care about looks so much, then why do they approach the less attractive girl when her friend is way more attractive? From what I observe, personally, like men, I mean, I don't know, like I'll tell you what, when I look at women who are very, very attractive, I don't notice that they get approached as much. I notice that they get a lot of eyes, like a lot of eyes are on them, a lot of people look at them, and I just don't notice many men just approaching them just like that. Like, I think that some women need to understand that the more men hit on you, the easier you look. When many men feel comfortable hitting on you, you think it's a good sign. I personally think it's not a good sign, because the lowest price always attracts the most customers. People say this all the time, and it's very true. I strongly believe that it's true because I always notice that the women who are average looking, who are not too good looking, they're not intimidating as in looks wise, they get approached a lot because guys feel more comfortable approaching them. They don't feel like they're going to get turned down. You get what I mean? Some women you just simply look at and you just know right away, like, to be with her, I need to have money, I need to have my ish together, and I need to be on my A game. Like, some women are so good looking and so intimidating that not every guy's going to be able to approach her. The next question says, how can I make him jealous? He never cares if other men flirt with me. If he likes you, he's already jealous and constantly thinks about all the men that want you. And if this is not the case and you don't feel like he's jealous, you can try to make him jealous, but I just feel like if he's not already jealous and thinking about all the men that, want you, then you're probably not out of his league and he's probably like a terrible target to have. But I can give you some things. Like, honestly, I would just do the basic tactics that every woman uses. Like, for example, the passenger seat one where, you know how when a guy sits in your car, he pushes the passenger seat all the way back, all that stuff. So you can just do that. Push the passenger seat all the way back, spray some cologne, and once he walks in, he's gonna think that there was some guy in there. Another one is, if you don't normally dress up, start dressing up, start wearing more makeup, start doing your hair differently. Start making yourself look even better when you go to work or when you go out with the girls. He doesn't even need to know where you're going out. He just needs to see it. Maybe even start posting pictures on your Instagram story to like have him see that you're in your heels and dress and, a tight skirt, whatever. But he needs to start wondering in his head, like, who are you dressing up for? Another one, basic tactic that every woman uses, is that accidental text where you can just message him and say, oh, yesterday was fun, thanks for the dinner, thanks for the lunch, thanks for everything, whatever it is. He sees it and then he's gonna think, what is she talking about? I wasn't even with her. Like, who was she with? Another thing that you can do. Another thing you can do, again, most women do this. Actually, not most women, but I've definitely done this. You can just post flowers on your Instagram or post like jewelry and make him think that somebody gifted that to you. You can even make up a story. I'll tell you what, when I was a student, I remember I did this. And what I did is basically I posted a picture of flowers, but this was actually a real story. So when I was a student, I was doing this project with another guy and I was just having a hard time, like with the project, with school, with the exams and everything. And he was so sweet that he got me like my favorite flowers with my favorite color. And the guy that I was dating, when I was in the car with him and he saw the story, he like asked me, he's like, oh, who got you like these flowers and everything? And I told him like the truth. I was like, yeah, like a guy got it from me, explained to him the whole situation, and he was so pissed. Like, so pissed that after that he got me flowers a lot of times. Like, those exact flowers that were on my stories, he got me that, but like double the amount. So you can honestly just make up the story and you'll get what you want. The next question is, how do I get a man to pay for my hair and nails? I don't know, from my personal experience, men don't really like to pay for hair and nails. Like, even for like your facial treatments and stuff, very rare that you're gonna run into a man that actually likes to do that stuff. I would personally just tell him that, like, I just wouldn't tell him that the money is for that. I would just say that the money is to like fix maybe a phone, to, for my studies, for my business, for, I don't know, fixing something around the house. Like, they prefer to pay for something like that compared to your hair and nails, because hair and nails isn't something that you like really need, but when it's like studying and business and maybe fixing around the house, those are more so the things that you actually need. Those are the things that are actually going to help you. So it makes more sense to say that you need money for that instead of saying you need money for hair or nails. The next question says, is it easier to get money out of married men instead of the single ones? And my answer is definitely yes, especially online. I'll tell you what, most of the men who are married, and if you want money out of them, it's much better to do it online, because the thing is, they married their wife because at some point she did make them happy. But because most women live this like 50-50 lifestyle, it's very hard for women to keep their husbands happy. Because think about it, like, now they need to go to work. On top of that, they have kids that they need to take care of. On top of that, they have a house that they need to clean, and so on and so forth. So what that man had before, he won't have it now, because now she has all these responsibilities, all these problems that she needs to take care of, and obviously he's not going to help her with most of it. So what they will do to remove that feeling of loneliness that they now have, they'll usually hop online. And it's much easier for them to hop online because if they go out of their way to meet women in person, they have a higher chance of getting caught, which gives them a higher chance of getting divorced. Now, I personally am not into married men, and I would never in my life even trust to marry a married man, but I can't even say that in my younger days that I didn't mess around with them. Like, I'd never slept with them, but I definitely, like, went out of my way to, like, you know, kind of get my money out of them, and it was always online. I did have friends who went for married guys in person and everything, but from all the women that I know, when we do talk about, like, married men, one thing I can confirm is that married guys give you things over a longer period of time compared to single guys. So they're a good target when you're like a sugar baby or when you just want money, but when it comes to like love and stuff, it's very hard for me to see how a woman can marry a guy who was already married and trust him, because like I would always be on that edge of like, this guy cheated on her, so he'll definitely do it on me. So you do need to figure out what it is that you want, what it is that you're looking for. If you're just looking for money, they're amazing targets. The next question says, why do so many men hate giving gifts to women? I don't... Look, if a man doesn't give you a gift, he doesn't care about you. Like, men love to give gifts. I've never in my life heard, like, whenever I meet men, they love to brag about how they can do so many of these nice things for their wives or their girlfriends. Like, they like to brag on these things. They like to show off that they can afford the finer things for their dream girl. Like, I've never heard a guy brag about how cheap he was with an engagement ring or within a proposal or something like that. Like, men love to brag about things that they spend their money on. They like to brag about like, oh yeah, I got her this, I got her that, I took her there, I took her here. Like, they like these things, you know. If a guy does brag about, you know, because I have very rarely seen like YouTube videos where men are like, yeah, I got her like this cheap ring and she loved me regardless. You will look at her and you will be able to tell that she's not his dream woman. Because I do remember running into this one YouTube video where this guy was like bragging about how cheap he was towards like the proposal and the ring and how she loved him regardless, and he was like, yeah man, you guys should find a woman who's just like mine. And when I looked into his Instagram, and of course, like the creep that I am, I went through his following. All of the women that he follows look nothing like his wife. Absolutely nothing. Plastic surgery everywhere, huge lips, huge, you know, titties, everything. Like, and his wife literally looks like below average. Completely flat. And there's nothing wrong with being completely flat, but you can tell that if he's following a bunch of women who have work done on themselves, clearly his wife is not his dream woman. So if he's, you know, if he's complaining about the fact that you want gifts, you just need to accept the fact that you're not his dream woman. You need to find a guy who looks at you and is like, this woman is completely out of my league. I'm so lucky to have her. I will literally buy her a gift. And buying a gift is literally like nothing. Like, when you like a person, you want to give them a gift. It doesn't make sense for you to start complaining about gifts. Like, it's such a small, simple thing to do that it's weird to me that somebody will start complaining or hating it. You know, even look at high school boys. They literally love going all out on prom. When it's prom night, you know, the prom proposals that they do for women. You need to look at that. Like, if a high school kid is willing to do that for a girl just to go out to prom, how are you letting your little boyfriend get away with not getting you any gifts when you're like sleeping with him completely free for years? You know, make it make sense. The next question says, how to stop a man from cheating? I mean, you can't. But I always tell women that your man won't even think about cheating when he's too busy worrying about what you're doing. This does work. If he's busy chasing after you, he doesn't have time to chase after someone else. The best advice I can honestly give at this point is make him spend his money on you so he doesn't have enough money to spend on another woman. That's simple. And if, let's say, he becomes so lucky that he ends up finding a woman who's willing to give him wife benefits for nothing, sleeping with him for nothing, then, you know, the least you can honestly do is give her a high five. Because honestly, she's out here doing all the hard work, doing the dirty work for you. You should be appreciative. You should be telling her thank you. While she's out here doing all the dirty work and getting nothing, you're getting everything. So simply once you find out about her, cut off the sex. And that's it. Decide what you want to do. Either leave him or continue to get benefits from him. But simply just don't sleep with him and you don't have to worry about any, like, sexual diseases and all that stuff. But honestly, I'd be very happy if another woman was doing it for me. I'd be like, thank you. By the time that something better comes along, I just leave. Or by the time that he cuts me off because I'm not willing to do anything for him, I can leave. You get what I mean? Like, it's a win-win situation. As long as you're getting everything out of this guy, that's what matters. I think it hurts women more. Oh, no, I don't think. I know. It hurts women more when they give all these things, when they give out free sex, free everything, wife benefits, only to find out that he was taking some other woman out to dinner, buying some other woman gifts, taking her out shopping, and then she's like, how come I didn't get that? Like, either you're that woman who does the hard work and does the dirty work, or you're that woman that's getting spoiled. So you just need to figure out which one you want to be. So the next question says, why did my ex constantly point out my imperfections and now is dating a girl that looks worse than me? I love this question because a very similar thing happened to me with that guy that I made a video about, the seduce and scam him. I think I mentioned on there as well that he slowly started trying to figure out my imperfections or my insecurities. He love bombed me in first and gave me so much compliments, and then all of a sudden, when he realized he wasn't getting laid, he started trying to figure out ways to belittle me, I guess, which unfortunately didn't work, but it was very obvious what he was doing. Now, him and I have a mutual friend that she knew that I was with him before. So she actually told me a few months ago, she was like, yeah, listen, there's this new girl that he's with now and everything. So I was interested. I was like, okay, show me what she looks like. And she looks way worse than I do. And it was very funny to me when I looked at it and kind of confusing at the same time because I'm thinking, damn, he pointed out all these things that he didn't like about me, and here he is hanging around a girl that looks way worse than I do. And another thing is that I have this certain color that I always wear, and I wear it everywhere. I'm telling you, I always wear dresses, and I usually always wear flats, heels. Those are that's just my style. I love it. And there's a certain color that I always wear. Now, I looked at her pictures, and all of a sudden she's wearing that same color. And I looked at her older pictures, she did not wear that color at all. So I'm not going to say what color it is that I wear, but let's pretend it's pink, okay? So if I have I would have pink lips, pink, dress, skirt, everything pink. All of a sudden she has that too. And I was so confused because I was like, what? And then when I looked at her older pictures, she's not wearing pink, at least not that much. She was the type to wear shirts, pants, and all of a sudden I'm seeing her with skirts and dresses. So it seems to me like he's trying to make her like me. He's trying to make her, you get what I mean? He's basically trying to turn her into me. I don't know, because it's a bit too much of a coincidence. But honestly, men in general will downgrade you to a lower, they're going to try to downgrade you and belittle you to lower your standards. That way, you're going to be dependent on him for validation, and it'll just make it easier for him to have access with you. It's going to be easier for him to sleep with you. This is the only reason why they do it. Never have I ever met a healthy man, a man that actually comes with good intentions, that's going to even think about, belittling you or saying all these flaws about you. Even if they do notice imperfections, they usually never, not even usually, I've never in my life heard them even pointing them out. And listen, even though you're not with him anymore, I want to say to the women that deal with these kind of men, that treat them like crap, that point out their imperfections, that don't put any effort in them, it's your fault that you're dealing with that guy. It means that you don't know your value. The only reason why a woman will even enter a relationship is because she thinks that the guy she's with is treating her based off her worth. So if he's not giving you anything, if he's not buying you things, if he's not taking you out on dates, that's what you believe you're worth. Otherwise, you would have never ended up with him. If you could do better, you would have been with someone who's better. You know how they say the higher you raise your boundaries and self-image, the fewer manipulators you'll tolerate? This already creates fewer obstacles in your life and will cause you to have a much easier life. The next question says, my man got me a set of fake necklace and earrings. How can I get him to get me real jewelry? Oh, this one's easy. Honestly, just tell him, listen, Beautiful jewelry, thank you very much, but the problem is because it's fake, it'll get rusty really fast. If I sweat in this necklace, it'll get rusty and I can't wear it anymore. If I accidentally forget to take this necklace off and I take a shower or I go out swimming, I can't wear it anymore because it'll get all rusty and gross and the color will come off. I mean, that's what a fake necklace will do, right? So just tell them the truth. Be like, listen, I can't wear this because if I start sweating or something, like, that's it, the color will come off. I won't be able to wear it. It's going to be a waste of your money. And I just really, really want to have jewelry that I can wear, and I can wear it every day for the rest of my life. And every time I look at it, I think of you. That's literally all you need to tell him. And if this doesn't work, okay, if this does not work, you need to leave. Like, I personally, honestly, I'm telling you, like, I would just leave him. I would not say anything. I would literally, get another guy to buy it for me or buy it myself. Post it on my story, write, oh my gosh, with heart eyes when I post that real jewelry, and let him see it and just never message him again. Really, like, I am that petty. The next question says, I have a roster, but how do I know which man to choose? My answer for this one will be just choose the one that gives you the most and treats you the best, okay? I know women always say rich man this, rich man that, but I always say, like, I personally think that money isn't the only thing you need to look at. Obviously, he needs to be well off. He has to have a career. He has to have his ish together. These things are important. I'm not telling you to go walk around with a guy who makes minimum wage. But sometimes a guy who, is maybe middle class or higher up middle class will give you 10 times more than a guy who's actually rich and owns like a villa. You get what I mean? Like, you need to look at who's going to give you the most, who's going to treat you the best. That's what you need to look at, because sometimes a guy who's in middle class will literally give you everything, and the guy who's rich is being all cheap with you. The next question says, I feel bad on making men spend money on me. What can I do? I feel like when I give you this information, you might change your mind. I mean, at least I hope so. When I talk to men and they want to leave a woman and they start saying, oh, she doesn't do this anymore, she doesn't do that anymore, they usually say, well, I can't leave. I spent all this money on her. I did all of this for her. So they will decide whether you're worth keeping or losing based off how much money they spent on you. And I don't care how many men decide or try to deny this. I've spoken to men and they always bring up the money. They always bring up how much money they spent on women. This is why men go crazy, because of the money they spent on women. This is why men can't get over women, because of all the money that they spent on her. So the next 3 questions that I have here are quite similar, so I'll just put them in this one section. So the first question is, how to give a man hints that you want him to do cute things for you, for example, like a picnic. So if you just want a picnic, for example, you can easily I would just be straightforward and tell him. But if you guys aren't that close, or maybe you're shy or whatever, then you just go on like Pinterest. There's plenty of like videos of picnics, screen recorded, send it to him, and then be like, wow, look at this picnic. Like, it looks so amazing, and I haven't done a picnic in so long. That's more than enough to give him a hint that you want a picnic. You'll definitely get it. If he doesn't give it to you, he doesn't like you. Next one says, how to continue to receive flowers. He bought me flowers once, but since then he's never bought it again. Just tell him that you want more flowers. But if you're so shy that you can't tell him, it depends. Let me think. I'll tell you what I did to continue to receive flowers, aside from that story that I gave previously. This one time where I got flowers, the flower, like, it lasted for a very long time. Like, the flowers lasted for a long time. It was like a week or so passed, and usually flowers die by then. So I took a picture of those flowers and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're still alive and they're so beautiful. And then I started telling him about how I didn't realize that flowers actually boost up my mood. Like, I told him, like, I feel like I need to decorate my whole room with flowers because they boost up my mood so much whenever I look at them. And since then, like, he always got me flowers. So you can just do that. I mean, that's like the closest thing I can think of. I personally think, like, I just think it's so much easier to just tell him, like, I love flowers. It's so easy to get flowers out of men, but you can also do that trick that I just mentioned. The next question says, how to get him to buy jewelry. So very similar to the one that I had previously, but if he hasn't bought you any jewelry at all, what you can do, I guess, is, those like jewelry box organizers or whatever, where you can like put in like your jewelry or whatever. So take a video of it and then be like, yeah, you know how obsessed I am with like jewelry and everything? Look at this like cute thing that I got, or look at this new organizer and everything, and then send him the video of your jewelry. This should be more than enough to let him know that you like jewelry. You mentioned that you're obsessed. You sent him a whole, collection of jewelry that you have, and if he likes you, he'll want to add on to that collection. The next question says, how to make a man obsessed with you but not be the one that becomes obsessed in the end. Honestly, just never, don't text him every day. Go out on dates with other men, keep him guessing, be mysterious. And then in the end, just end up marrying a completely different guy. I think that's a great way to make a man obsessed with you. The next question says, I'm new to this whole level up thing. I'm kind of scared to ask a man to invest in me since I've been dating him for months. I've never asked him to spend money on me. Is there a way I can get him to start putting in more effort? Oh, I hate when I get these because honestly, I'm a huge advocate for train him from the start. But I guess maybe I haven't tried this, so I have no idea if this is going to work. So if anybody out here has the energy, try this and let me know if it works. But maybe try to get him to do something that involves effort but doesn't cost. Since he's never spent money on you, maybe try to get him to invest his time and energy on something that won't cost him money. So for example, you can tell him that you watched I don't know, The Notebook with your friend or something, and how cute it was that he wrote letters to that girl. Then look at him and ask him how he just ask him how come he never does that for you, and tell him how much he wanted. Just ask him to write a letter about how he feels about you. He might make fun of the idea, but keep going at it and tell him how much you want it. If he doesn't do it, he'll never put effort in you, okay? Make sure that you request he writes it on his own, no computer involved, pencil and paper, and you want a whole letter about how much he loves you and how much he cares for you and what he likes about you, all that stuff. This is free, and I honestly wouldn't say it's easy because it consumes his time, to think of what to write. I personally think that from this, if it works out, you'll get an ego boost when you get this cringe letter, and from there maybe it'll give you the confidence to start asking for more, such as him investing in something that you want. The next question says, do men really only care about looks? I mean, obviously no, but I'll tell you what, I feel like this is the best answer I have for this question. I've never in my life heard a guy brag about how much of a smart businesswoman some girl is. They always, whenever they talk to their guy friends, they're always like, oh man, I just went out with this super hot chick. That's what they always say, or oh damn, you have no idea, she's so fine, or she's so beautiful, and stuff like that. I don't hear men bragging about a smart business lady. Some of the men that I also knew who dated women that look like models, they tried so hard to take them out to nice places and impress them, and the other women that were in the roster that were more average looking, I barely got to see those women. In fact, I almost never saw those women, because those women he would always take to his house or to some really cheap date. Men know what you're worth, because if you're good looking and you're wanted by other men, he knows that when he has you next to him around his friends or in other areas, it's an ego boost to him, because other people see that. How you look, it says everything about you, and you represent him. Your looks represent his value to the outside world, and every man knows by being with a good looking woman is just rewarding. I've talked to men about this all the time, and they always say being next to a good looking woman is simply rewarding. It gives an ego boost. It makes other people, want to know who you are and why she's with you. So looks matter. I don't know what to tell you. I know you want me to say no, but they do. Oh, I see. I got another question from the same person. I'm not physically attractive. Can I still get a wealthy man? Of course you can. Just go for a guy that's old. If you're young, just go for a guy that's old. Your youth already adds up. Or you can go for a guy that looks worse than you. Or honestly, you can just go for a guy that's blind. Find you a blind man. The next question says, do you think it's possible to practice hypergamy if you only date men from the ages of 24 to 33? Yeah, it is possible. I mean, your pool is going to be much smaller. But you can find a guy who's generous in those age groups. Like, there are plenty of men in early 20s and 30s that actually have money. Some even have their own businesses, come with old money, are dentists, doctors, engineers. So it's not true that a guy who's in his early 20s is going to be a guy that's, broke or a dusty. Because honestly, broke men are in every age group. There's plenty of guys in their late 30s, 40s, 50s that are broke, cheap, all that stuff. So it doesn't really have much to do on the age. Of course, the guys who are in their early 20s are harder to deal with because they're just not. Most of them are just out there to get laid, and a lot of them don't have their ish together. But I have met guys in their early 20s and early 30s who really have their ish together and are great targets. So don't let the age be a whole factor. Okay, ladies, so I'm gonna have to end it here because I'm realizing this video is becoming too long. I have like hundreds upon hundreds of other questions that you guys sent off to me, so I'll definitely make a part 2. If I haven't gone to your question, don't worry, I will definitely make another part 2. I'll probably need up to like part 5s on this one because there's so many, but we'll definitely get through them. So thank you all for listening. If there's anything else that you want me to add on, fix, talk about, definitely let me know. And yeah, love you all.